Let's say you've got this number 7.634869621. That's a handy dandy number, isn't it?
Yep.
It's always good to know your decimal place value. And the thing to remember about decimals is it's kind of backwards thinking a little bit, because if you look at the decimal here and you go the other direction, if I'm going to the left of the decimal, as I go farther away from the decimal, the numbers actually start to get bigger, right? Because this 9 is like 900, as opposed to this 8, which is only 80, which that's only 7. It works completely backwards in the decimal world, and that the farther you get away from a decimal on the right side, the very, 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 very much smaller each thing means. And I think we've talked about this before. Let me write this down. The first one after the decimal, first place after the decimal, people get confused because I think they think there's a ones place or whatever, but there's not. The first one is the tenths place, and then comes the hundredths place, and then comes the thousandths place, or make sure you put that TH on there because that's the big difference. Not thousands, it's thousandths. And then the 10,000ths place. And then the 100,000ths place. Oops. And then the millionths. And then the 10 millionths. You could go on forever, I think. And then the 100 millionths. And so on and so on. It really, boys and girls and children of all ages, here, let me blow that up a little bit for you. Probably a little too much. It really is hard to imagine numbers that get down to the past the thousands place, even. Because I think I've kind of done this for you before when we talk about decimals. If you say that this piece of paper is one whole unit, okay? If you're talking about taking just 1/10 of it in that tenths place, oh, why did I do that? Put that back there. Means a tenth of this means you cut it into 10 pieces. Here's half. A tenth of this is probably about this big. Let's try this. So you had your original piece. This is about a tenth of it. That's what 0.1 of it. But when you get to 100th, that means you're taking every tenth and cutting it into 10 equal pieces. So 100th of this piece of paper is probably about that big. When you get to 1,000th, I got to take this and cut it into 10 pieces, which is not really easy for me to do. You know, you're talking 1,000th of this piece of paper is about, sorry, wrong piece of paper, is about that big. So now when I get to the 10,000ths, I'm not even sure I can rip something that small. And then when you get farther and farther, you have to keep going small and small. So you're dividing, every time you're doing this, you're dividing what you have by, 10. Some places we see some of this is, in money we only go out this far. Why? Because for somebody to be talking about 1,000th of a dollar, 1,000th of a dollar just would be way, even hundreds of a dollar. Most people won't bend down to pick up 100th of a dollar, which is a penny. How many of you, when you see a penny, jump up and down because you found so much money? Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'll believe that when I see it. This 1,000th means you'd have to have 10 of these. You'd have to have 10 of these to make just one penny. Okay? And this one here, you'd have to have 100. 100. If we went out to this decimal place value, you'd have to have 100 of those to make 1 cent. This one you have to have 1,000 of them. This one you have to have 10,000. So you get out here, this is like 1,000,000. You need 1,000,000 of this decimal just to make one little penny. And most of us aren't going to care too much about that. There's not a lot of things we use those really small decimals for, but we do. And technically, when you write decimals, how many of you actually knew you are actually supposed to put commas in decimal numbers too? Anybody know that? And why is that, you ask?
Why is that?
Well, thanks for asking. 7.38246696. Because if I asked you to read that number for me, most of you would get to the point where it would go 7 and, what's the rest of it? Can somebody read that number for me? Olivia?
7 and 3/10.
Nope. We haven't talked about how you do decimals yet, have we? We did last year, I'm sure. Look at how thin that man is. Tell him he's wasting weight enough and he ate an apple and then it's over.
Please tell me that pulling the cheese and or cheese and sausage is okay off the pizza.
Yes, so you take the cheese, yeah, absolutely, just don't eat the bread.
Right, told me it was, you said it would be okay, so I did. But I felt like it was really hard. I wanted to eat that pizza.
I know, I'm here for you, I'll talk you off the ledge anytime you need to be talked off. But that chicken was good, wasn't it?
The chicken was actually pretty good. She kind of burnt the crust a little.
I like mine a little snappy. I'm telling you, I think if you get I think it needs to be a mixture of the spicy and the not spicy, because I needed more, last time I used the spicy, I needed a little more saltier in the taste. It was better, the first
She
time,
thought it was too salty.
the first time I made it was by far the best, and I have not yet been able to duplicate it, and I don't know why.
You just like quickly like pan fry it and then like throw it in the oven, or
No, quickly pan fry is an oxymoron. Pan frying takes a long time. It's
Well,
like 25 to 30 minutes per side. Excuse this kid if I
how do you
talk.
not burn?
You had your grease too hot. You had the olive oil too hot.
Because she just quickly seared it and then baked it.
Well, that'd probably kind of do the same thing, but there's nothing like a good piece of fried. It loses a little when you don't deep fry it like that. I'm just saying. When I perfect it, I will have you over and we'll have some. But I have not yet to duplicate the
Well,
first
she also
time.
used like this like really huge like thick piece of chicken.
Yeah, well,
But
you should still be able to kind of do it. I'm gonna perfect it. I just don't have enough time to cook.
that's about all I had. So then I had,
Did you make like 12
Meat.
pieces? Because you gotta just keep using
and then I had meat and cheese. And then I ate too much and I felt full for the rest of the night.
See?
See, but what about dessert? My sweet tea.
Chase has, Chase, what about dessert?
Can I have dessert?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what works for me?
What?
This is the honest truth.
Gum?
Oh, gum, yeah, that's why I chew like gum. Take whipped cream and put it in the
I
freezer.
don't like whipped cream.
You don't like ice cream?
I like ice cream.
Put whipped cream in the freezer and it's ice cream.
Why though?
Do
Why
it.
don't you like
It's
Who doesn't
air.
like, it's un-American, isn't it, to not like ice cream, whipped cream?
It's like air.
You're
I know, but there's not
yeah,
many carbs in it. It's mostly air. You take yourself a good cup of whipped cream, put it in the freezer for about 25 minutes or 30 minutes, it comes out like ice cream, and you feel, believe you me, when you are starving for a carbohydrate, you, that little bit sits you right there.
Alright.
Suddenly all these questions, oh, somebody's got the reading of this, thank you very much, that's, Chase had his hand up first, sorry, you addressed you. Chase, go ahead, give it a shot.
7 and 3,824,696
You're not done yet.
millions.
No. Good try though. You're well done. You were that close. Zach Roth.
7 and 3, 10.
Now, you don't say the place value of every digit there. Lauren, I'll give you the shot before I rain on your parade.
7,3,824,696
That is exactly it. And that would have come a lot quicker to you if you would have put the commas in it where they go. If you're reading a decimal number, 7 and, you say this number just like it's written out, 3,824,696. But what you have to remember, whatever place value you said for this first one, you have to go add one more bigger on the backside. In other words, if this is million, when you say it at the end, it's gonna be 10 millions instead of millions. It'll be 10 millions. Because remember, there's no units place, so this is the tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millionths place. So if you have a comma in there, it just makes it that much easier for you to see without trying to count in your head or see what's going on there. Whatever that, we should do one more. 603.9784.3. You put a comma there where it belongs. 603 and 97,843. This is in the 10,000. I mean, this would be like the 10,000, so it's actually the 100,000ths when you say it. Tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. What you would ever need all those digits for, I don't know. But that's just the way it works. But mostly they're just gonna ask you place value. So they're gonna say, what place is this 2 in? What's the place value of that? That decimal there would be in what place? Zach,
The thousands.
the thousands place. That one right there would be in the, Olivia?
100,000.
100,000s, yada, 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 and such that. Make sure when you put that on your paper, you write the THs in there. I don't think there's anything where David messed up your whole homework.